Have you ever felt disrespected by someone? Here's how to respond with dignity. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone intentionally or unintentionally disrespected you? Perhaps it was a sarcastic comment in front of others, an inappropriate joke, or even being ignored while sharing your opinion. These moments are not only uncomfortable, but can leave you questioning whether to speak up or stay silent. How can you maintain your dignity while earning the respect of those around you? If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. These situations are emotional challenges that most of us encounter at some point in life. The key lies in how you respond, turning these awkward moments into opportunities to assert your value. With the right approach, you can protect your dignity and build respect among those around you. In this article, we'll explore practical tips and psychological strategies to help you react intelligently, confidently, and effectively in challenging situations. Let's dive in. Before we dive in, if this is your first time on my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this video. This will help me continue creating more content like this in the future. Why do these situations happen? It's natural to feel singled out when someone disrespects you, but in many cases, these moments arise not out of personal hatred or grudges. Instead, they're often the result of opportunism. Some individuals attempt to elevate themselves by diminishing others, believing that making you look weak or uncomfortable will make them appear stronger or more confident by comparison. This type of behavior is unfortunately common, not just in professional environments, but also in social circles and even within families. It might be a colleague trying to outshine you during a meeting, a friend cracking a joke at your expense, or a family member making pointed remarks to assert dominance in the group dynamic. Stoic philosophy offers a powerful framework for dealing with such challenges. The Stoics remind us that respect is not something you demand or impose on others. Instead, it is cultivated through how you conduct yourself and the boundaries you establish for your own self-worth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In moments of disrespect or provocation, this principle is your guide. The way you respond, calmly, confidently, and with a sense of self-assuredness, is what determines the outcome. Your calm and confidence are your ultimate weapons, capable of disarming even the most antagonistic individuals. Throughout this video, we'll explore how to apply Stoic philosophy in everyday life to handle these situations effectively. The strategies we'll discuss may seem small or simple at first glance, but their impact is profound. Each one will empower you to stand your ground, maintain your composure, and, most importantly, project self-respect in any situation. Remember, respect isn't earned through aggressive comebacks or attempts to dominate the conversation. True respect is earned through calm, deliberate action, and steadfast control over your emotions. Let's dive into these practical solutions and discover how to handle disrespect with the grace and strength that Stoic philosophy inspires. First impressions are the foundation of how you're perceived, and interestingly, it's often less about what you say and more about how you present yourself. Imagine this. You're at an important networking event. Someone walks into the room, scans the crowd, and makes their way toward you. They extend their hand for a greeting, but instead of standing up, you remain seated, offering only a quick glance at their hand before shaking it. The result? You've unintentionally conveyed disinterest or a lack of confidence, signaling that the interaction might not matter much to you. Small actions like this have a massive impact on how others perceive you. The Stoics understood this deeply. They recognized that simple gestures like standing up and maintaining eye contact during a greeting aren't just good manners. They're powerful expressions of confidence and self-awareness. When you rise to shake someone's hand, you're subtly communicating equality, readiness, and mutual respect. This aligns with a key Stoic principle. How you present yourself reflects your values and shapes how others see you. Let me share a story. I once attended a professional seminar where networking was the primary goal. Among the attendees, one individual stood out. Whether greeting a senior executive or thanking a waiter for refilling his coffee, he always stood up, made eye contact, and fully engaged. It wasn't flashy or overdone, but it left an impression. People respected him, not because of what he said, but because of how he carried himself. He projected confidence and sincerity with every interaction, effortlessly commanding respect. In contrast, I noticed another attendee who remained seated during every greeting. He didn't mean to come across as disinterested, it was simply a habit. Yet this seemingly minor action created an unspoken barrier. People unconsciously took him less seriously, even though he was just as capable as anyone else in the room. The lesson is clear. Rising to greet someone is not just an act of courtesy. It's a declaration of how you value yourself and others. Here's where Stoicism comes in. The Stoics didn't focus on things beyond their control. They maximized what they could influence. In this case, it's your behavior, your presentation, and the way you communicate your worth through small yet meaningful actions. If you want to adopt this lesson in your life, start with everyday encounters. Whether you're meeting someone in the office, at a cafe, or even during a virtual meeting, make sure you're fully present. Stand up when greeting someone, maintain eye contact, and project confidence with your body language. These simple gestures not only earn you respect, but also emphasize your inherent value, a reflection of Stoic principles in action. Remember, first impressions aren't just about appearances. They're about showcasing your confidence, self-respect, and the respect you have for others. This is the essence of what Stoicism teaches us. Live with intention, pay attention to the small things, and let those actions define who you are. So the next time you meet someone, rise to the occasion, look them in the eye, and let your actions speak louder than words. When someone interrupts you in public during a conversation, it can feel downright frustrating. You're trying to make a point, and suddenly someone jumps in, derailing your train of thought. It's a moment that can easily throw you off balance. For many, the natural reaction is to get angry or respond sharply. However, this often escalates the situation and makes you appear less composed. So, what should you do instead? This is where Stoic philosophy steps in to guide you. The Stoics teach that true strength doesn't come from trying to control others. It comes from controlling yourself. In such situations, a simple yet powerful technique is to fix the interrupter with a firm and determined gaze. When someone interrupts, instead of reacting impulsively, pause. Look directly at the person with a calm yet focused gaze. Let the silence speak for you. This subtle but impactful act communicates that their behavior is inappropriate and that you won't tolerate being disrespected. This approach demonstrates confidence and encourages the interrupter to reflect on their actions without you having to say a single word. Let me share a story. Once, during a family dinner, I was sharing a funny story when a relative interrupted me mid-sentence to share their own anecdote. At first, I felt flustered and awkward, as if I'd lost control of the moment. But instead of cutting them off or reacting defensively, I stopped, looked at them calmly, and waited. The silence lasted only a few seconds, but it carried more weight than any words could have. They quickly realized they'd interrupted at the wrong moment, corrected themselves, and allowed me to continue. The rest of the evening went smoothly, and I regained control of the conversation without any drama. This strategy is particularly effective in public or group settings. By staying composed and in control, you naturally draw attention. Your presence becomes stronger, and you don't need to raise your voice or argue to reclaim your space in the conversation. The Stoics remind us not to let others' actions dictate our emotions. Instead, we use tools like body language and calmness to steer the situation without losing our dignity. But the gaze is just the beginning. Once the interruption is addressed politely but firmly, resume your point. A simple phrase like, "Let me pick up where I left off," not only asserts your right to speak, but also maintains respect for everyone involved. The goal isn't to embarrass the other person, but to set a clear expectation that respect in communication is non-negotiable. What's remarkable about this approach is that it requires no aggression or intimidation. Stay calm, avoid showing anger, and let your actions speak volumes. When others see you handle interruptions with confidence and intention, they'll not only respect you more, but also reflect on their own behavior. Stoicism reminds us that true power lies in maintaining self-control, even in challenging moments. So the next time someone interrupts you, don't lose your cool. Stand firm, hold your gaze, and show others that you are someone worth listening to. This isn't just about earning respect, it's about expressing your self-worth in a way that's both meaningful and lasting. Let's come together to support our community. If you are a kind person, please hit the like button on this video and leave some energetic comments to spread positive vibes. Together, we can make a difference. When someone in your group of friends deliberately tries to humiliate you with a joke, your first instinct might be to feel embarrassed or upset. But remember, the way you respond will determine the entire dynamic of the situation. This is where Stoic philosophy becomes an incredibly powerful tool, helping you stay calm, composed, and in control. Once during a casual meetup with old friends, one of them decided to mock me in front of everyone by retelling an embarrassing story from our school days. At first, I felt my face heat up, and my immediate reaction was to fire back with a witty or defensive comment. But instead of letting my emotions take over, I recalled a Stoic principle. What doesn't harm your essence isn't worth your concern. I smiled, pretended not to have heard the story, and calmly asked my friend to repeat it, maintaining a composed and slightly curious demeanor. Here's the fascinating part. When the person had to retell the joke, its impact significantly diminished. Not only that, but the group started to sense the awkwardness of forcing someone to recount a joke that wasn't landing well anymore. The loud laughter from earlier faded, and the storyteller began to fumble, realizing their attempt at humiliation had backfired. The key here is that asking someone to repeat their joke not only reduces its impact, but also shows that you're unshaken. This approach allows you to maintain your composure while subtly highlighting the other person's inappropriate behavior. Even more importantly, it shifts the dynamic in your favor without resorting to retaliatory tactics or losing your dignity. By choosing this path, you send a powerful message. You're someone with inner strength who won't let small provocations dictate your emotions. This is one of the core lessons of Stoic philosophy, maintaining calm and control in the face of minor life challenges. So how can you apply this principle effectively? First, remember that you don't need to react instantly to every action or word. Pause, take a breath, and think. Second, use silence as a powerful weapon. Silence isn't passive. It creates space for the other person to realize their mistake. Finally, when you do respond, do it with calm confidence. A simple request for them to repeat what they said, spoken in a neutral tone, can have far more impact than arguing or fighting back. Stoicism teaches us that our reactions to uncomfortable situations reflect our character and inner values. Every time you stay calm and refuse to be drawn into negativity, you not only gain the respect of others, but also reinforce your own self-respect. So the next time someone tries to mock you in front of others, remember this: you have complete control over how the story ends. With calmness and clarity, you'll always come out on top. By applying this principle, you not only disarm the situation, but also demonstrate that you are a person who values their dignity and self-worth above petty provocations. Have you ever faced a situation where someone deliberately tried to provoke or hurt you with a pointed remark? Imagine this. You're at a family gathering, and someone comments on a failure in your career in front of everyone. It's the kind of remark that feels like a dagger to your heart, digging into a pain you've been trying to move past. Suddenly, all eyes are on you, waiting to see how you'll respond. In that moment, instead of reacting defensively or trying to explain yourself, take a brief pause, stay calm, and ask a question like, "Hey, does anyone know a good bakery nearby? I was thinking about picking up something for the next get-together." This simple question instantly changes the energy in the room. The person trying to provoke you is left flustered, unsure of how to proceed, and the conversation quickly shifts to a neutral, more comfortable topic. What just happened? Not only did you avoid escalating the situation, but you also turned an uncomfortable moment into one that worked in your favor. This strategy of asking an unrelated question isn't just a clever tactic, it's a way of reclaiming control over your emotions and the situation. By interrupting the flow of provocation, you redirect attention away from the negative energy and refuse to give the instigator the satisfaction of seeing you upset. This approach is a perfect example of Stoic principles in action. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and refuse to let external circumstances dictate our peace of mind. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The brilliance of this technique lies in its ability to derail negativity without confrontation. A well-timed, unrelated question disrupts the instigator's train of thought, making it nearly impossible for them to continue their attempt to provoke you. At the same time, it allows you to maintain your composure and project a sense of confidence and self-control. To make this approach work, it's essential to keep your tone and demeanor natural. If it seems forced or calculated, it might come across as insincere. Choose a simple, neutral question or comment that feels organic to the moment. Something about a nearby restaurant, a recent event, or even a casual observation. The goal isn't to dodge the situation awkwardly, but to shift the conversation with subtlety and ease. This technique doesn't just work in the moment. It builds long-term resilience and inner strength. By refusing to be dragged into emotional conflicts, you demonstrate to yourself and others that you're in control. People around you will notice this composure and come to respect you for it. More importantly, using this strategy is a step toward cultivating the core Stoic value of focusing on what you can control. You can't dictate how others behave, but you can decide how you respond. In doing so, you reinforce your sense of self-worth and send a clear message. You will not allow others to undermine your peace or dignity. The next time you find yourself in a situation where someone's words are aimed to provoke or hurt, remember this approach. Ask a simple, unrelated question and observe how the dynamic changes. You'll not only diffuse the tension, but also feel empowered by your ability to rise above it. As Marcus Aurelius wisely reminded us, true power comes from maintaining peace of mind regardless of external circumstances. By mastering this technique, you'll not only handle challenges with grace, but also elevate the respect others have for you in any situation. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt undervalued, disrespected, or even completely ignored? It's not a pleasant feeling, but sometimes the best way to protect your self-respect is to choose to walk away. Stoic philosophy teaches us that respect isn't something you can demand, it's something you cultivate by knowing your own worth. Walking away isn't a sign of failure, it's a demonstration of strength and self-worth. Let me share a story with you. A friend of mine, Sarah, was an exceptionally talented creative professional. One day, she joined a major project at her company. However, instead of being recognized for her relentless efforts, she was constantly ridiculed by her manager in front of the team. The manager interrupted her in meetings, dismissed her ideas, and made her feel as though her contributions didn't matter. At first, Sarah thought she needed to try harder, believing that proving herself would earn respect. After months of frustration, Sarah had an epiphany. She realized that she didn't need to beg for respect from people who were unwilling to give it. One pivotal meeting changed everything. Once again, her idea was brushed aside without reason. This time, instead of trying to argue or seek validation, Sarah calmly closed her laptop, stood up, and said she would put her energy into a place where it was valued. She walked out of the meeting, leaving her colleagues stunned. That same day, Sarah submitted her resignation, not out of anger, but as an act of self-preservation. A few months later, she joined another company in a leadership role, where she was not only respected, but celebrated for her talents. Sarah's story isn't just about leaving a toxic environment. It's about choosing where to invest your energy. Walking away doesn't signify weakness. On the contrary, it demonstrates that you understand your value and refuse to stay in an environment that undermines it. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the only thing we can truly control is how we respond to situations. While you can't force others to respect you, you can decide not to remain in a place where respect is absent. Walking away is often a quiet but resolute decision. It's not about creating drama or proving a point. It's about telling yourself, I am worth more than this. So how do you know when it's time to walk away? It's when you realize that all your efforts to build respect have been met with indifference, or when you feel you're constantly fighting to be recognized. Don't wait until your self-esteem has been eroded. Listen to yourself, and if necessary, choose to leave. Remember, being absent where you're disrespected is far better than being present where your value is diminished. Walking away isn't about surrendering, it's about setting boundaries. Stoic philosophy teaches us not only to control our emotions, but also to safeguard our sense of worth. The next time you find yourself being undervalued, remember that sometimes the most respectful action you can take is to leave the table where your worth isn't recognized. Respect isn't begged for. It's built by how you decide to treat yourself. By walking away, you reinforce your self-respect and send a clear message to yourself and others. I know my worth, and I won't settle for less. Remember Marcus Aurelius's wise words, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Choose strength, dignity, and self-respect over the opinions of others. Sometimes, walking away is the most powerful action you can take to honor yourself. Respect is not something you can demand from others. It's something you earn through your actions, demeanor, and how you treat yourself. Each of the strategies we've discussed in this video, whether it's making a strong first impression, handling interruptions with grace, diffusing provocations, or choosing to walk away when necessary, reflects the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. These principles empower you to navigate challenging situations calmly and confidently while commanding the respect you deserve. Remember, the foundation of respect starts with how you perceive and value yourself. When you stand firm in your self-worth, others take notice. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, responses, and mindset, and let go of what we cannot. By applying these principles, you'll not only handle life's challenges with grace, but also cultivate an unshakable sense of inner strength and dignity. Whether it's standing up during a greeting, maintaining a steady gaze to address interruptions, redirecting provocation, or walking away from disrespectful environments, every action you take speaks volumes about who you are and what you stand for. These aren't just practical tips, they're reflections of a philosophy that helps you build character, resilience, and lasting self-respect. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Each moment, each interaction is an opportunity to demonstrate this strength. Let your actions show that you are someone who values yourself and demands the same respect from others, not through words or force, but through your calm and composed presence. Thank you for watching this video. Let's support our wonderful community by hitting subscribe and turning on notifications right now. Show everyone that you're living kindly by liking the video and sharing your experiences in the comments. Take action now to spread positive energy.